Hello guys and welcome to this video. Now I've got this gorgeous red dial DateJust mod to share with you. It's a Presage dial, an unusual dial and a combination for both Seiko and a Rolex inspired look, although Rolex don't make a red dial DateJust as far as I'm aware, or at least not one like this. So I'll get to this one in a moment, but the reason I'm making this video is because this watch got a really warm review on my Instagram. That is Seiko Mods Dubai. Please check out my Instagram page and follow me for updates and all my latest and greatest creations, both for private clients and available watches just like these two. On my store, that's SVK Watches, you'll be able to find both of these watches right now if you're watching this video, until they sell out, because I only have one piece of each, and I do ship worldwide, and you can pay via card and everything, so you can see all the price, specs, details and order process all on there, even if you want a customized version. I'm going to show you this one first though. This is the SRPE sort of Silver Surfer mod. That name was coined by somebody on my Instagram as well in the comments, so thank you for that. I was tempted to call it that. It is a silver dial, all silver SRPE 40mm kind of explorer style watch, of course with those Rolex Mercedes hands. This one actually doesn't exist from the Seiko catalog. We can't find a silver dial 40mm SRPE. It just simply doesn't exist. So this dial I got from its bigger brother, which is the Seiko 5 Sports. It's also called an SRPE. The number escapes me right now, but I'll put it in the comments. I did review that watch before and I've modified a couple of them, but I had a dial spare, so I decided to try and make a watch that Seiko don't make themselves. So zooming in a little bit on this, we've got Mercedes hands, we've got a double dome sapphire crystal. Doesn't add a lot of height, but it does add a lot of quality sort of feel to this mod. It's got blue AR as well, so which is only gentle blue. This crystal is from DLW Watches. So really nice quality, not too jarring. You'll just catch it on the edges of the crystal in some light. Here are some of the outdoor sort of pics and videos of it, the beauty shots. So you can see it's a really nice color, even though it is all silver. We've got nice strong lume. I'll do you the lume shot on this a bit later on. Quite thin as well. And we've got the 4R36 in this one, under the standard Seiko caseback. This bracelet is a solid oyster bracelet from Watch and Style as well. All new parts, a combination of both Seiko and modified. If I change Seiko parts, it's because I'm putting better quality parts in their place. So like the sapphire crystal, the bracelets are a common change for most Seikos, even the higher end ones. You can see it's got the typical operation you'd expect, and of course the date can be quickly set by just rotating the crown clockwise for the day. Let's get it back to that. I like the blue Saturday there, and the other direction anti-clockwise for the date, and then you pop it in. You might have noticed there's two languages there, but there is always English available as well. So that is the Silver Explorer. Let's have a closer look now at the beautiful Seiko Presage red dial. This is a deep red. It's like a wine red, or Seiko I believe call it a royal red. Either way, it's an absolutely gorgeous dial. This dial was actually only originally made for a ladies watch, Seiko Presage ladies model. It's got the date only. It's got this sort of fluted sunburst effect. I'm trying to catch it in the camera. It's a bit clearer in some of the shots of me making it, which I'll share in a second. But aside from similar kind of upgrades to the silver one, we've got different hand style. That's their baton hands. They're from Watch and Style, I believe. In fact, all of the parts on this one are from Watch and Style, apart from the dial. I managed to source that privately as well. We have a fluted bezel, which I thought just suits this dial perfectly. And we've got a lovely solid Jubilee bracelet. I feel like the fluted bezel deserves the Jubilee bracelet, and vice versa when you're thinking about a DateJust style. Everybody prefers that concept. Now I did stick with the blue AR crystal because it isn't that strong, and it just gives you an even more slightly higher contrast and a bit more interest on the dial when viewed in certain lights. But let's have a look at the shots of this one outside, and you can see there is a little bit of light play, a bit of reflection because of the double dome crystal, but it's a gorgeous color. I really enjoyed making this one, and here are a couple shots of me making it. So what I had to do is obviously find the dial first, lucky to get it, and then I removed the pins on the back so that it could be fitted to a 4 o'clock crown position, because the standard dial is actually a 3 o'clock dial made for a 3 o'clock case, a smaller case for a lady's watch. So I modified that. NH36 movement in this one, it's same as the 4R36, it's just aftermarket movement from Seiko rather than Seiko themselves. From a Seiko watch I should say. We also have the same case back, and of course the fluted bezel, the brushed chapter ring. Let's zoom in on that a little bit as well. So you can see we have a simple dial kind of design, but at the same time quite jazzy and quite detailed with all those kind of brushed, well, I'm going to say brushed stripes or sunburst stripe sort of pattern. There must be a name for this, I'm sorry guys, in case you know more about this than I do, the name of the pattern. Underneath, like I said, let's zoom in again, sorry, we have Seiko's NH36. We've got the original case back. You can see the W and S there, that's watch and style for the bracelet. You can have a go at making one of these yourself. If you've got a nice Seiko dial, it might be worth doing, because I love finding interesting Seiko dials and putting them in high-end cases. In this case, standard Seiko case, but just upgraded with the sapphire and the solid link bracelet and so on. There is one more watch I'm actually wearing right now, which I'll let show you. This is my SNK mod, because I've got a larger wrist. My wrist is 7 3/4 inches or thereabout, and I've always wanted to do this. I've wanted to make a skeletonized version of one of these. This used to have an Arabic Seiko dial in it, but now it's got a different movement, an upgraded NH72 movement, which is the gunmetal Seiko skeletonized movement. So we've got a little bit of dust on there. And I love it because you can see all the inner workings, and I love the sort of hand stack as well, because obviously there's no dial, so you get a lot more depth down the middle. There's a movement ring or dial ring, I think they call it, from Mod Mode watches here, and white Mercedes hands from DLW. So I will do you a quick wrist shot on the other models I've got. By the way, this strap you can also find on my store, or just message me for details. This is a Pueblo leather handmade strap, and I've actually had this for a good year or so now, and it still, especially underneath, looks brand new. Granted, I do wear a lot of different watches, but it's a really nice quality leather strap. There is a video on those on my channel too. So we'll start with this one. I will do you a loom shot as well. Now these typically I size down to the average size to give you a better idea on the stand, but on my 7 3/4 inch wrist I could get away with these models. Tend to prefer larger watches personally, but these are definitely going to suit most clients, most Seiko buyers as well. So there it is, that's the silver model on wrist, and let's get that loom shot before I forget. And you can see there, even in daylight, we've got really strong loom. I've just charged this up off a lamp here. Seiko are really famous for their super strength loom. Even when you just then enter into a dark space from outside, or even into a light space like I've got here, and you've been out in the sun, the loom will glow strong. And those hands from Watch and Style are very well matched in terms of loom power and color. Look a little more different on the screen, but on my camera I mean, but in person they are the greenish sort of Seiko Lumi Bright finish. Let's have a look at the red dial now. That doesn't have any loom as such, apart from the hands. Hands are also from Watch and Style, so they're going to give you that nice green loom. But I will give you a quick wrist shot. So again, different bracelet, same size watch. This one I would say wears maybe a little bit smaller, but it definitely packs a punch in its terms of presence because of all those shiny surfaces on that fluted bezel. It's not quite, of course it's not a diamond bezel, but it's almost there because you're going to catch the light as you twist your wrist. This will make for some epic wrist rolls. So there you go, guys. Those are my two new SRPE mods. The red dial is certainly my favorite. I may well try and source another red dial like it for a future GMT mod, and do subscribe to this channel if you've enjoyed what I'm doing. If you want to check out any of these watches, this one even will be listed on my site soon as a mod option, and that was svkwatches.ae, or follow me on Instagram at Seiko Mods Dubai, and I will see you next time. For one last shot of the two next to each other, you can see the difference you can make with a fluted bezel. And this has been one of my most popular and my favorite things to do because of that change, because of that massive impact it makes on an otherwise relatively inexpensive and simple watch. You can make yours really stand out. So enjoy. I'll see you soon and have a good day. Thank you.